Hello, my name is Aidan and welcome to another Golf Predictor video tutorial. In this video I shall be talking about the prediction odds page. So let's get started by going to the predictions menu and clicking on the second option. If you do that, you will go to the following page, which as usual I have preloaded on a separate tab. This page is very similar to the prediction rankings page, which I have already covered in another tutorial. However, there are a couple of features specific to betting on this page that I would like to talk about. The first one is the actual approximate fair odds for each golfer, and you can see those in the color-coded column on the right. And the second thing I'd like to talk about is comparing how the bookies rank each golfer to how Golf Predictor ranks each golfer, and determining from that difference which golfers are good value and which golfers are bad value. Okay. So the first thing we'll talk about is the actual approximate fair odds for each golfer. I have created an algorithm on Golf Predictor that takes the golfer's GP score and converts that to an approximate fair price for that golfer with a bookie. So for example, you can see that based on Dustin Johnson's GP score, his odds would be fair at about 26 to 1. And similarly, Jordan Spieth's fair odds would be 13 to 1. Now, looking at the actual odds for a bookie, we know that Jordan Spieth is about 6 to 1 and Dustin is slightly longer odds. So the bookies, unsurprisingly, have lower odds for the more fancied golfers. Now, this algorithm on Golf Predictor for working out the approximate odds for the golfer is based on an empirical study of previous tournaments and the odds that bookies had for them. Experienced gamblers will be aware of the terms book percentage and over-round, and you can see those for each tournament on Golf Predictor just above the data table. You can see here in this case that the book percentage for the Open Championship is a very high 235, which gives an over-round of 135. So to explain that to people who do not know what these terms mean, so what you have to do to work out what the book percentage is for a tournament, you have to take the odds for each golfer, convert it to decimal. So fractional odds of 13 to 1. To convert to decimal, you just have to add 1 to whatever is before the slash, which will give you 14. Invert that, so that gives you 1 over 14. And you add that in a separate column. Then you do the same for every other golfer. That would be 1 over 27. That would be 1 over 28. And so on for the entire field. So if you add them values together, you get the book percentage, which for a fair or a round book would be 100 or 100%. Bookies will never have a book percentage of 100% because then they can only be breaking even for every market that they offer. So a bookie will build in some profit into the book by having a book percentage of over 100%. Now the amount that the bookie is over a fair book or a round book is called the over-round, and it's simply the book percentage minus 100, which will give you, in this case, 135. Now, as I said, this is a very high number because as Golf Predictor is not a bookie, we don't really care about over-rounds and book percentages. We just want to calculate the fair odds for each golfer. If a bookie did his initial calculations and found that his book percentage was coming to 235, this is way too high and he would have great difficulty getting a lot of customers. So what he would have to do to decrease this to a more fair percentage, he would have to increase the prices for some or all of his golfers. So for example, if you look at Betfair, which is a very common betting exchange, a very popular one, it also, if you log into it, it will tell you the book percentage at the top, and that's coming out as around 106 or 107%. But if you look down at the bottom end of the odds with the no-hopers, there's a tremendous amount of no-hopers available at 1,000 to 1, which explains how they got the book percentage down to that low of a level. Similarly, if you look at a sports bookie, you might and work it out manually, you will see that it comes out in the example I did, also from the Betfair, but from their sports book. I transferred all their details from their web page into an Excel spreadsheet and calculated the book percentage, and it came out at 149 or so. To do that, they gave a lot of the no-hopers at the bottom much higher prices than what you would expect from their GP score, for example. So the bookie will manipulate the odds like that to get the book percentage to an acceptable value. The second thing I'd like to talk about on this page is the color coding on the odds column. What this does is compare the bookie ranking for a golfer with the GP ranking for a golfer and highlights where Golf Predictor believes there is value to be found. For example, if the GP rank is similar to the bookie rank, then the odds column will be formatted in a yellow/gold color, as you see there for Jordan, DJ, and Stenson. What this means is that the bookie ranking is similar to the GP ranking. So if you look at the bookie ranking column, which is the second last one, you see that Jordan is ranked 1, DJ is ranked 2, Stenson is ranked 4th. And if you look at the first column, which is the GP rank, you see that Jordan is 1, DJ is 2, that's identical, and Henrik is 3rd on GP ranking, which is very similar to his bookie ranking, which is 4th. Now, if a golfer's GP rank is higher than his bookie rank, then his odds column will be highlighted in green. This means that he is undervalued according to Golf Predictor, and the deeper the shade of green, the more undervalued the golfer is. And we can see that for Jim Furyk, who, as you can see, is ranked 8th by Golf Predictor, but only 33rd by the bookies. This means that Jim Furyk is undervalued by the bookies and therefore will make a good value bet. Similarly, if the golfer's GP rank is less than his bookie rank, then this signifies that the golfer is a bad bet according to Golf Predictor. For example, we can see that Justin Rose is ranked 10th by Golf Predictor, but he's ranked 4th by the bookies. This means he is overvalued. So you can see his odds column is a shade of red. Again, the deeper the color of red, the more overvalued the Golf Predictor thinks the golfer is. So where does the bookie rank come from? Well, I analyze a page that compares the prices of the golfers from a number of bookies, and I take the ranking from that. Note that most bookies tend to rank the field in more or less the same way, with the odd exception. Also, if you hover over the odds column, you will see the best price available for that golfer from the bookies surveyed and the actual bookie or bookies, if plural, that offer that price. So you can see, for example, that Justin Rose is available at about 23 to 1 on BetDAQ, which is a betting exchange. And if you look at Rickie Fowler, his best price is 20 to 1, which is available from Paddy Power and You Win. Note that this bookie comparison facility is not available for every tournament. I generally only do it for the bigger events, but if there is enough demand from users, I would consider doing it on a weekly basis. If the bookie comparison information is not available, then the bookie rank column will show NA, standing for not available, and the odds column will not be color coded. In this case, you will have to find under and overvalued golfers the hard way, and I will show this in another tutorial. Well, that's about it for this tutorial. I hope you found it useful, and thanks for watching.